Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another video. I know it's been quite some time, and the reason for that is quite simple, is that I find myself in a position where I'm practicing what I preach. And I hope that that will bring solace to anybody watching these videos, that it's not just some guy who came up with an idea and this is what I'm going to make a channel about, but I understand what it means to be a smoldering Christian. So therefore, it's been quite some time since I put a video up, and I ask forgiveness for that, because the work of God mustn't stop. Another thing that you will have discovered is that there's no intro, there seems to be no editing. And for the foreseeable future, unfortunately, that is going to be so. I'm unable to get the editing done. However, I suddenly realized that is no reason to stop the videos, because Jesus Christ is the editing of the videos. I pray you'll forgive me. I pray that you will still be able to enjoy these videos, and that you will enjoy receiving from the Lord any word that He may have for you. And I feel honored if He's able to impart a word to you through these videos. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for your forgiveness. And I pray that we will continue putting these videos up, even in their raw form, so to speak. And if I do happen to make any errors, that you will forgive me for any misspeaking or any stuttering that may occur, that I will now be unable to edit out. Let's move forward then quickly to what it is that God was looking at telling us today. And it was a bit of a harsh one, it's a bit of a difficult one actually, because it's not something we want to read really. And the Lord was, I was in Acts, and I was reading where Stephen was about to get stoned, and he gives his speech to the Sanhedrin when they brought him before the elders and themselves and were questioning him about his faith. And he got to the part, what he does is he speaks about everything that really happened from Abram onwards. And there's always seems to be this recurring repetition or re-speaking of the old days of what God had done. And I think it's a way of preparing, in a sense, the road of any speech or any discussion about Jesus, so that we can show the world what He will do. Now, when I look at this very specific part of Stephen's speech, which you will discover is one way he's rebuking, he's showing the Sanhedrin how God used to rebuke us. I went to these passages, and I suddenly saw something that I think we all as smoldering Christians do, and what God's trying to show me or show us about when the darkness is truly thick. We've got to be careful that we don't do what the Israelites did. And let's have a look at it. Stephen speaks in Acts about the fact that when the Israelites were taken out of the desert by Moses, they grumbled and moaned and continually complained. And one very specific part is he speaks about the fact that when Moses went up on the mountain, he had been away for a very long time, and they asked Aaron to build a golden calf. And I went to have a look at that, and that is in Exodus chapter 32. Let's read it for a second. It says, "When the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said, 'Come, make us gods who will go before us. As for this fellow Moses, who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him.'" Now here's something interesting. That is said in chapter 32, verses 1, and we then consider, and we just backtrack a little bit. When you go to Exodus chapter 24, and you look at verses 15, let me read what it says, verses 15 through to 18. "When Moses went up on the mountain, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai. For 6 days the cloud covered the mountain, and on the seventh day the Lord called to Moses from within the cloud. To the Israelites, the glory of the Lord looked like a consuming fire on top of the mountain. Then Moses entered the cloud as he went up onto the mountain, and he stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Now let's have a look at that verse again. The Israelites were there. And it says, "To the Israelites, the glory of the Lord looked like a consuming fire on top of the mountain." So Moses goes up on the mountain. They see the glory of the Lord that looks like a consuming fire on top of the mountain. Then we fast forward a little bit, and they go, "We don't know where God is. We don't know what He's done. We don't know why He's disappeared." Well, Moses, that is. Okay, they say, let's look at it again, forgive me. It said, "When the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said, 'Come, make us gods who will go before us. as for this fellow Moses who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. Now they know what happened to him. They saw the glory of the Lord like a consuming fire on top of the mountain, and they know that Moses was up there. Now surely if you've seen the glory of the Lord as a consuming fire, you will know that wherever your man is, he's with the God. Yes, possibly it could be that God may have taken Moses away. But what is being pointed out here is their lack of patience. They don't know where he is. They don't know what's going on. Now, isn't that often what we do? And we saw that Jesus was about to do something. We may have read something in the Word where God has promised that he's going to help us out of a scenario, or so we perhaps perceived that reading, those verses. And then a week goes by, then 2 weeks goes by, then 3 weeks goes by, 2 months go by, and nothing. And we suddenly say, well, as for this Jesus, I don't know where he's gone. And what do we do then? We go to someone like they went to Aaron, and we say, please will you now help me, because as for this fellow Jesus, forgive me the way I'm putting that, I don't know where he's gone. Notice that they said, as for this fellow Moses. In other words, no longer the leader Moses, no longer the prophet Moses, no longer the Moses whose face had to be covered with a veil because it was shining with the Shekinah glory of God. Now suddenly, where is this fellow Moses? And don't we do the same thing? Well, where is this Jesus? As opposed to, where is my King? Where is my God? Please help me. I don't know where this Jesus is. I don't know where Jesus is. Isn't that what we do? Now I want to beg of you, brothers and sisters, let's not get to that point. And I want us to understand that Jesus Christ, our God and our King, might tarry, but he's not gone. Just like Moses wasn't gone. Moses came back, and when he came back with instructions from God, which helped them have physical ways of sealing the covenant, the Ark of the Covenant, the tabernacle, all these things that God wanted to put in place for his people. When Jesus is finished the work that he needs to do in your life, or to prepare what is coming in your life, he will come back with physical and tangible answers. I'm convinced of it. Please do not fall away because it seems like God is taking a long time. Sometimes he will be quiet. Sometimes it will just feel like Jesus is up on the mountain and he's with God and he's just not coming back. He will come back. I know he will come back. Have faith in that. Have faith in the fact that Jesus will come back. And when he does, he will bring with him everything that is needed for you to solve the problem that you're in. And notice he brings the solutions. Not us, not anybody else. I pray that has been helpful, my brothers and sisters. And I pray that as these raw videos goes up, God will use them to continue to speak to all of you who are suffering in respect of being smoldering Christians. So I know that he is doing that for me. I love you, brothers and sisters, and I will continue to pray for all of you as I ask you to pray for me as well. God be with you, now and always. Hold on to your faith. Speak to you soon. Until next time. Goodbye.